Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Sweet as Dew here with Izzy, who's being a little bit affectionate because she has to pee. Yes, your love is not unconditional. I'm going to talk about something I don't usually talk about. I'm going to talk about Teaware. Specifically, I'm going to talk about Jian Zhan. Jian Yang. And this post, this content, this whatever, is inspired by Teaware, who recently put out a post also talking about Jian Zhan. And in his post, he was talking about how he didn't really like Jian Zhan. He didn't really find the appeal. And for a long time, that was me too. And then I spent a few months living in Jian Yang, which is like the center for Jian Zhan. And I learned a little bit, not a lot. I learned a little bit, and I got to experience some different cups. So I'm going to just take a few moments and show my opinions on what I think good Jian Zhan is and what average Jian Zhan is. Because I have seen this conversation kind of pop up every now and then. I do remember years ago, about 7 years ago maybe, Jian Zhans were super popular and they were all over Reddit, all over the niche, the Chinese tea niche, and I did not understand. I did not think any of those cups would look nice. They all looked cheap to me. But now, after living in Jian Zhan a few months, I have a little bit more perspective. Okay, so let's start with this one. This is a lot of what you see Jian Zhan, and I think this is a slightly higher quality than a lot of what's on the market, or a lot of the cheap stuff, the average stuff. And I'm basing that on the color. You can see it kind of has this bronze shine to it. And I like that. But if we look at the color, the design, it has this like kind of drops, kind of those round circles. I don't personally care for that. Once again, this video is completely opinionative. This is just what I think about when I look at Jian Zhan. This is not my favorite. It's not too comfortable to hold. It's a little heavy. It's not too comfortable to hold. So this is, I would say, a slightly above average Jian Zhan cup, something I don't usually use. I actually rarely use this. It just looks dirty to me, to be honest. But that's that. This is my favorite. This is my favorite Jian Zhan cup. And when I talk about good Jian Zhan, this is what I think about. So first of all, I like this iris shape. Notice there's streaks, there's lines, and they all kind of go toward the center. There's a certain amount of uniformity to the color, to the design and the color. And there's a depth to it. I did not take care of this. This has some tea resin I should wipe off. My friend sent me a message to wipe off the tea resin, and I haven't in a while. But this has a really nice color. There's a little bit of texture to it. I like this a lot. This is my favorite. When I think of good Jian Zhan, this is what I like. We also have fully glazed Jian Zhan. This is another one that I bought from the same friend. I like this one too, but when I first bought this, when I bought this from her WeChat, and on her WeChat picture, the center area was very green. She had done some lighting, I don't know what she did. In her picture, the center area was very green, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I got it, and there's a green tint to it. There's some green to it, but it wasn't a completely honest depiction in her photo. But that being said, these two cups are both very comfortable. This one is surprisingly light and fits in the hand quite nice. This one's actually a little bit heavier, but balanced. Both of them are balanced, where this one feels like I don't even feel comfortable throwing it up. It just feels very awkward. And then we have this one. And this one's a slightly different conversation. This is a more mid-level cup. I do like the shape. And there's a nice shape to it. It kind of has this kind of like, it's more centered. But I love the color. And one of the things I got into in Jian Zhan, living in Jian Zhan, was black cups. When you have a black cup, you can't see the tea liquid. So before you take that first sip, you have no input. It's purely a blind tasting, which makes that first sip surprisingly different. The experience of that first sip is surprisingly different when you have no visual hints about what you're about to taste. The color on this is not too deep. It is glazed. The shape is good, but not as good as this shape. This is a cup I will occasionally reach for. This is a good mid-level cup. This is still my favorite. So why don't I sell these? Recently on the Discord, I was taking suggestions about what Swedish Stew can do better. And basically everyone was like, you need to do Teaware. And so why don't I sell these? I don't sell this because I was only in Jian Zhan a few months, and in that time was really focused on going to Wuishan, which is right next door. And so I only found one Teaware's seller, and it was a reseller. So she has beautiful Teaware. She is amazingly knowledgeable, but it's not cheap. It is not cheap. This cup ran me, I paid, it's been a bunch of years now, I paid close to $100 US for this. I think around 70. I think I paid around $70 US for this. But I think so so for me to sell it, it would probably be about $100 US. I don't know. I don't want that to be the only Jian Zhan cup. Now I might do it now that I'm thinking about it, but at the time I didn't sell it because I wanted to find a source that was the maker and therefore get a better price. The price was a big thing. This is another one. This one, I think I paid $50. So I put this on the website for $70, and this is not a $70 cup. I'll just tell you that right now. $50, $30. I like this at $50. I like this at $50, the price I paid. I don't like this at $70. This one I am particularly fond of, so this one I might be able to do at 70, 100 maybe, but definitely not past 100. So yeah, that is my opinions on Jian Zhan. Straight opinions, no facts. Don't even ask me how Jian Zhan is made. I don't fully understand it. Something about irons and water and rocks and shit. I don't know. But that's my opinion. Yeah, what's yours? What do you think of Jian Zhangs? Do you like them? Do you like these like rounded bubbly things? Or do you prefer something more glazed or this? Have you ever tried drinking from a black cup? If you haven't yet, highly suggested, try drinking tea from a straight black cup. See you next time.